Hi everyone, this is Anna and welcome back to Anna's Take with the Twist. Today we're going to talk about why older TV shows like Friends, That 70s Show, and The OC are making a comeback. Like a lot of YouTube videos, the obvious reasons are going to be at the beginning and the not so obvious reasons aren't, so please watch until the end. And if at any point today you like today's video, please hit the like button and like the video. So one of the many reasons as to why older TV shows are making a comeback is because the characters and the scenarios were relatable. I would say that they're timeless, so evergreen. Everyone has had an issue, a disagreement, misunderstanding with a member of their family, a friend, a coworker, a love interest, or a significant other, or maybe even just a stranger. And the problems on those shows were basic, everyday problems that were solved or resolved in one or a few episodes. The characters, like most of us, were just literally trying to find their way through the ups and downs of life. Another reason as to why those shows did so well is because they had a lot of episodes per season. Friends, which first aired 31 years ago in September of 1994, had 236 episodes over 10 seasons, or about 24 episodes per season. In 8 seasons, That 70s Show had 200 episodes, so about 25 episodes each. And it first aired in August of 1998, which was 27 years ago. So on a side note, and stay with me on this one, it's going to seem like I'm taking you down the garden path, but I'm not. So on a side note, That 70s Show had a bit of a spin-off titled That 80s Show. Now, it first aired in January of 2002. The 80s Show had a lot of the same writers and producers as That 70s Show, and it was actually set in the year 1984 and located in San Diego, California. Now, the cast for That 80s Show didn't have the same chemistry, so it didn't really gel as well as the cast for That 70s Show. So unfortunately, the 80s Show was canceled after only 13 episodes. Now, since the 70s Show since That 70s Show did have like a great cast, they gelled really, really well, and they had such phenomenal writing, and they were able to engage audiences for 8 years. They did actually have a direct spin-off, and it was called That 90s Show. So That 90s Show was produced by Netflix, and it had 2 seasons of 13 episodes each, so 12 episodes per season, less than the original That 70s Show. So That 90s Show first aired in January of 2023. It was actually canceled in August of 2024. The OC had 92 episodes over 4 seasons, so about 23 episodes each, and it first aired in August of 2003. So all those episodes per season really allowed us, the audience, to know the character, their storyline, and their backstory, so all of their history. Now, the reason TV shows back then had so many episodes per season is because they didn't have a lot of channels to compete with. And there weren't other things to steal our attention or our time. So shows like Friends, That 70s Show, and The OC all had their day in the sun before smartphones, YouTube videos, and of course streaming services, which is ironically where they're making their comeback. Again, even before smartphones, YouTube, and streaming services, those TV shows and more were being aired all around the world. Why create a new TV show from scratch that may not work when so many TV shows meet the cultural standards of other countries in the world? All you need is like a few subtitles or some dubbing, and you could reach a whole new market, which they did. So people in over 100 countries could watch Friends. That 70s Show was aired in all English-speaking countries, and The OC was available in over 50 countries. So a little bit of a side note here. When I was growing up, I spent a lot of time in Hungary in the summers. So a few days after school would let out for summer break, we would just go and we would be away until a few days before summer started. So in the 70s and 80s, I've seen a lot of things in Hungary, and we used to watch the movies at the movie theater that were subtitled in Hungarian. And then we would have Charlie's Underlie or Charlie's Angels, we would sit down and watch those episodes at night, which I thought was interesting because I already saw those episodes in English, and then years later I'm watching those shows which are dubbed in Hungarian. So once again, kind of interesting. So I really enjoyed that. Now I'm going to say that people who gladly watch TV shows that were dubbed or had subtitles now watch them in English, which may be their second, third, fourth, maybe even their fifth language. So in a way, they're watching TV shows with new eyes because they're not reading subtitles, or they're watching those shows with new ears because they're hearing them that way in the language that the dialogue was actually produced in. Now, let's not forget that not everyone has someone to watch a TV show with anymore. So instead of family and friends watching a TV show with people living in the same building or city, now people are scattered around the world. Some people are even living in different time zones. And a growing number of people are living alone, and some of those people are feeling lonely. So according to the World Health Organization, a loneliness epidemic started in about 2005. That's when they noted it. So having a TV on in the background can fill the quiet, the stillness of a home or of a life. So if you're retired or you're unemployed, you're a student, you're out of school, you don't have your work friends, your family, or your classmates. And so all those people you used to see and interact with on a daily basis are now gone. So your world may be smaller, it may even seem more isolated. So it's no mystery to me as to why TV shows with close-knit families, co-workers, and friendships are now making a comeback. More people want what they see on TV. Then, of course, there's always the memories of that episode and the people and the events that were happening in our life at that time. So some people use the audio and visual of TV like music or radio. It's just on in the background for whatever emotion, feeling they have at that time. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people have a playlist. I personally have never done this before, but I can see people having a playlist of episodes of TV shows that suit their mood or emotion. As I said, we are in a loneliness epidemic. So actually, I read a couple of books on loneliness, and the first book I read on loneliness was about 14 or 15 years ago, and it is titled Loneliness, and the subtitle is Human Nature and the Need for Social Connection. It is by John T. Cacioppo and is co-authored with William Patrick. John T. Cacioppo is a neuroscientist. I'm going to tell you that I really enjoyed that book. I learned a lot about myself, and it has a lot of facts on human nature, which of course are just timeless. So the one thing I learned about myself when I read this book are the reasons why I can be alone and rarely feel lonely, because I really don't. I love being alone. I know that sounds strange, but I can like watch TV shows, I can like read books. I love being alone. And I think a lot of people kind of enjoy having that time to themselves. I just enjoy it more. So I'm going to leave a link for the book Loneliness and Human Nature and the Need for Social Connection in the description box below. I will say that there are a couple of YouTube videos that you can watch on that book. People being interviewed, John T. Cacioppo and William Patrick. So when we watch or have older TV shows on in the background, we usually already know what's going to happen. We have an idea. So some of us know when to laugh, gasp, or groan. And some people know some, or in some cases, all of the lines of that show. So in an unpredictable world, I think people just want to have something they can find predictable. And then, of course, we have a growing number of people who would just rather not see anyone at all. Not even the people that they like or even know. Now, I find that kind of interesting, but there are some YouTube videos on people who just don't want to be around anybody, period. And another thing too is like back then, a lot of TV shows, they were just really, really peaceful. Again, simple, basic, everyday problems that were solved or resolved in one or a few episodes. Like people really like that. And then, the other thing is that TV shows, like the writers, the network producers, were not shoving an agenda down our throats. Everyone just kind of kept politics to the politicians. Again, it was a simpler time. On a lighter note, when we watch older TV shows and we see actors before they become famous and household names, we really kind of we get to see them grow up. Some of them actually literally grow up right before our eyes, which is kind of interesting. So, obviously, when I'm watching Friends, that was 31 years ago when the first episode came out. I'm a younger version of myself, and I'm thinking back to all of those things. And, I've shared some of those life experiences with the characters of all of those shows that I just mentioned. So, like dating, marriage, children, divorce, addiction, I don't know, like disease, death, like everything. So I think that we just really need that ability to connect with different people. So the life experiences of the actors could be like in their real life or in a role that they played. But either way, we feel a connection to them in some way. And once again, I think that's what it is. I think we just need to have a connection with different people. And we can connect with people because, once again, it's predictable. And at the same time, you know what? If we don't like what we see, we can just turn it off. We can't always turn off people, or we can't really erase what we see in everyday life. So if you like today's video, please like the video. If you stayed to the very end, thank you for staying to the very end. I really appreciate that. And of course, you can always leave a comment, and of course you can always subscribe. Thanks again for watching Anna's Take with the Twist, and that's a wrap.